You're listening to BioCore Radio, the podcast teaching you to make health and fitness the core of your training, nutrition, performance, and lifestyle.
What's up, everybody? My name is Adam.
And I'm Jaylene.
And you're listening to BioCore Radio.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy how technology has advanced in these last couple of years, you know.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
We're only 25. It's only been 25 years since, at least in our perspective, we've known what technology's been able to do, which when I grew up, that's when, VHS, right? VHS, we could see visual movies.
We were transitioning out of VHS into DVD, right?
Yeah. That was our generation when it was VHS all the way to when DVD was the next big thing, HD. And they had the whole, you put the VHS in the rewinder. You remember that? Be Kind Rewind?
Yeah, the cassette rewinder, whatever it was. Yeah.
And we even had cassettes too.
Oh yeah, cassettes too.
On our Walkmans.
I miss listening to 98 Degrees on my cassette player. I'm just saying.
What is 98 Degrees? I don't know what 98 Degrees is.
Oh my god.
I was a sheltered child.
That makes me so sad. They're like around the same time as Backstreet Boys.
Okay, I know Backstreet Boys.
I feel like they were more soulful, though.
Okay.
Jessica Simpson married the lead singer of 98 Degrees, Nick Lachey or whatever.
Are they still married?
No.
Oh.
But she had married.
Okay. So you listened to 98 Degrees on cassette. What was your favorite CD?
Oh, Britney Spears. But 98 Degrees was not my favorite on cassette. My favorite on cassette was the Spice Girls.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the first time you ever put music on your phone?
Yes. Although I was quite rebellious to doing that for a long time.
No, me too. I didn't like the idea of having music on my phone at all.
I didn't either. I refused. Actually, before I put songs on my phone, which, come to think of it, I don't think I've ever actually put songs on my phone. I would download clips of songs to have as my voice recording or as my ringtone, but I never put music actually on my phone to listen to. I had this really, really cool MP3 player where the speaker, so it was literally like a brick, and you slid up the speaker and it was touch on one side and then speaker on the other side. And I just remember my friends thinking it was the coolest thing in the world because it was touch and it was blue. But even before that, I was really into hit clips.
Okay. Oh, I remember those. I never got into them, but I do remember them. I
think they were not even a minute. It was 30 seconds or maybe even less than that of a chorus.
That's like when I had a flip phone, I would record off of my computer 1 minute's worth of a song, and I would keep 8 different songs, just 1 minute of it. It was of the song, but I knew what it was because I picked it. But yeah, that's so cool. No, I was rebellious too. It's so funny that now everything is on the phones.
Yeah.
Everything is on the phone.
But even now, we still have the option to download things on our phone. I don't know about the iPhone, but most Androids come with their own separate library where you can store music, where you can buy songs and put them on there, but I won't use it. I still don't use it.
I think the biggest issue, and this is why I think all of us were so drawn towards things like Spotify and things like Pandora, is because the library in which we can hold all the music, which is every song ever, is so much bigger than the memory card of our phones.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because when we went from CDs, which could only hold 13 songs, or those boom boxes that maybe could hold 6 CDs, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Then to the iPod or the MP3 players, where now it's oh cool, I can fit more music on there. There was always a limit. Yeah. That's why I was so rebellious towards going to the phone phones because the phones never had as much memory as the iPods did.
I can definitely resonate with like just not liking the limitation, but for me, even more so than that, I was horrible with taking care of my phone. So like, I mean, I would drop them and things like that, but somehow or another, I would always lose memory. Always. And I felt like it was such a waste of time for me to put music on my phone if I was just going to lose it again. So now I'm super grateful for Spotify because even if I lose my phone or I drop it in water or whatever happens to it, Spotify is still going to be there. Get another phone, get Spotify and YouTube. You know, I'm super grateful for that. The song's not just away and then I have to find it again and buy it again or whatever.
Yeah, and even the other services, I know... I'm not as educated in this as some other people, but I know I don't think Spotify gives as much money to the bands as other services do.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not.
But they do have, and I think they do have the biggest library, and they definitely have, in my opinion, the most convenience of having songs and podcasts and stories and stories behind the lyrics and all that stuff all in that one space. And now there's no limit. Yeah, there's no limit to what you can download or what you can look up. And if you're like us who are constantly looking for new music and enjoying new bands and stuff, it's totally worth it.
I'm so down to just pay a one and done monthly or yearly subscription to listen to as many songs as I want. I'm not limited as to how many albums or which artists I can listen to. Like,
the CD's not going to get scratched.
I'm all down. Yeah, oh my, that is the worst. Or the tape is not going to come out of the VHR.
Or your SD card isn't going to magically break inside your phone.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Actually,
technology
that never happened to me.
That never happened to you? That happened to me. I lost all my music once.
Oh, that sucks.
But technology has come a long way, and now everything is on, especially with social media too. And we're actually taking advantage of this now with our Instagram. If you haven't noticed, we've been posting a lot more on our story. And we're doing this not just because we like showing off our lives to you guys. It is, you know, it takes time out of our workouts, and it takes time sometimes out of our time together.
Yeah.
But we really want to help you guys with just seeing functionally how living out fitness and health, or sometimes when you choose other things other than fitness, what that looks like, you know, what it looks like to go through a workout, what it looks like to choose food, what it looks like to look up the calories of certain foods, and make sure that they're tracked, every single little thing, especially when we go to Panda Express and we want to enjoy the food there, and then we realize, oh, well, the fortune cookies also have calories too, so we got to track that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so crazy because the smallest little thing, even drinks, you would think don't have any calories, or you just don't think about the fact of them having calories, have calories. Sometimes they have a lot of calories, sometimes they have a little bit of calories, but literally just about everything you consume has calories.
Yeah, and even if it's small, it all adds up.
Yeah.
So we want to show you what it looks like for us going through those things. So make sure that if you haven't already, follow us on our Instagram, BioCore Fitness, and check out our stories. See what we do. See what we eat. See what we do for our workouts. And we would love to answer any questions that you guys have about what we do every single day. This is our job. This is our life. We love doing it.
Amen.
Today's topic is going to be about building strength. I had somebody stop me in Sprouts the other day, since that's my second home, is Sprouts. And they actually asked me, because they know I'm a personal trainer, hey, Adam, how do you build strength? I've been starting out in the gym, and I've been lifting some weights, but I don't really know where I should go, what direction I should go with building strength. Well, let me go ahead and start off by saying that you've made a great choice by going to the gym. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people who will say that they want to get stronger, and yet they won't set foot in a gym. They'll actually go in other directions, like going to running, or going to swimming, or going to yoga, or going to different things that are not resistance training. And the reality is that, all of those other things you might build a little bit of strength in, but the primary way that you can get stronger and actually focus on building strength is going to be through resistance training.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's a good amount of strength that can come from cardiovascular activities, a good amount of central nervous system strength that can be built from cardiovascular activities, but it's just not the same as strength training. It's definitely a different kind of strength.
Yeah, and in resistance training and strength training, you're actually focused on getting stronger. Yeah. Whereas in all these other styles of training, your focuses are on other things like heart rate, like breathing, like keeping a pace, going a certain distance. With yoga, holding positions,
which is all really helpful when it comes to strength training, but it's just not the same.
It's not the same, and it's just not solely focused on that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're focused on range of motion and holding positions and movements when you're doing resistance training, but way more of that focus is on actually putting tension on the muscle against resistance that will help that muscle to get stronger. And that's why if someone comes up to me and says, how do I get stronger? I'm going to point them towards the gym. And I'm not just going to point them towards the gym, but we'll also have a couple of things to say as far as what kind of exercises you should be doing and what kind of rep ranges you should be doing. And we'll talk about that in this episode. But first things first, you go to resistance training. Not cardiovascular activity,
right?
So that you're already off on the right foot there. Off on the right foot, is that the right way to say that?
That's right.
You're already off on the right foot there, in heading towards the gym. So once you go to the gym, what do? What kind of program should you be doing? What kind of exercises and rep ranges? Well, the first thing that you should recognize is that if you want to build strength, if you want to get stronger, then you need to challenge your strength. You need to challenge that strength. Would it challenge your strength if you picked up a 5-pound dumbbell and tried to lift it for as many reps as possible? Well, you could probably pick up that 5-pound dumbbell and lift it for 15, 20, 30 reps, maybe even 30 minutes because it's not that heavy.
Yeah.
That would be testing more of your muscular endurance with the weight. You need to pick up a weight that would actually challenge your body's ability to hold itself together. A weight heavy enough that you would really need to engage your core, engage all of your muscles, and again, test the strength of those muscles underneath whatever weight you're lifting, over whatever weight you're lifting. A weight that challenges your ability to manipulate the weight rather than that weight manipulating you.
One thing that is so important when weight training is that all egos be set aside. Definitely, absolutely, 100%, all egos need to be set aside. Number one, for the sake of safety. And number two, just because you can lift one kind of weight doesn't mean that another person will be able to lift that same weight and vice versa.
With it challenging your body's ability to hold itself together, what are you holding together? You're holding yourself together in good form. That means that once you learn how to do a specific exercise and you learn how to do it with a certain amount of weight, if you want to get stronger in that, then it's not that you just put more weight on and however it looks is how it looks. No, you need to stay safe and you need to stay effective in actually keeping yourself in that good form.
Yeah, and for those of you who want a body that doesn't just feel strong but also look strong, then you have to put in the hard work. And it definitely takes time. I know there are plenty of people that we admire on Instagram and who we look up to. And I know a lot of times Photoshop may be involved in their pictures and how they look. And steroids. But you better believe that it not only took time, but a lot of hard work and effort for them to get to where they are.
Yeah. It's funny you say that too, because I remember growing up and seeing these kids who were really successful in sports, really successful in their athletic endeavors, and how they just had this insane explosive power to them, this explosive strength to them that ended up following them later in life.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first became a personal trainer, seeing these kids and even adults who were raised playing sports or doing athletic events, and seeing that they had that explosive strength, that explosive power, and they could put up a whole lot of weight a whole lot of heavy weight in these compound movements like the deadlift and the squat. But it didn't really look like they had a lot of muscle to them. They were just relying on that explosive strength, that fast, quick burst of energy to get that weight up, and it really never looked like they could actually manipulate that weight. And their bodies didn't show or have the muscle that showed that they could manipulate that weight.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference between having explosive strength and having actual muscular strength.
Right.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with having a good amount of explosive strength, but you always want to make sure that you have that explosive strength in check, that you keep that explosive power in good form, especially if you're a beginner. If you're a beginner going into the gym trying to focus on building strength, don't jump the gun and rely on that explosive strength. Make sure that you take it slow. Utilize that explosive strength, absolutely, but make sure that you're slowly moving your way up the weight. Make sure that you can actually control the weight that you're lifting. And that way you're not only utilizing that explosive strength and building that explosive strength, but you're ultimately building the muscle, building the overall muscular strength, and getting better at the movement through its whole range of motion. And that is far more important than just, moving up in weight faster and faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what exercises should you focus on? Well, with building overall strength, the more of your body that you can engage, the better. And so that's why compound movements are the king of all movements that are going to help you to build the most overall strength. They're going to have the most carryover to other exercises.
So for one, like the squat.
Yeah, like a barbell squat, where you're going to have to engage your back, you're going to have to engage your core, you even have to engage your chest as you tighten up your whole body, your whole upper body. You have to engage those legs, your glutes, your quads, everything to perform a barbell squat.
And even if you can't start off with the barbell squat, still doing even like a kettlebell squat.
Oh yeah,
is
we just put out a video on our YouTube channel, BioCore Fitness. You've got to go check that out, especially if you struggle with these compound movements, because we're going to be posting regressions of these movements. So
Yes.
if you can't perform a barbell squat, go over to our YouTube page, and we've already got a video about the squat regressions. Because if you don't have the strength or even the mobility to do something like a barbell squat, then your job is to find out what squat you can do, because the squat is still one of the best compound movements that you can perform. You just need to know where you're going to be able to start. And then once you build strength in that 1 to 6 rep range, you can continue along the line of regressions until one day you can do that barbell squat.
Right.
Another exercise that's really great is the deadlift. The deadlift is one of the most strengthening, most full body engaging kind of exercises that you can do.
Yes.
I think it's my favorite. I honestly think it's my favorite exercise to do because it engages so much of your body.
It really does.
Same thing. You have to squeeze your back. You have to squeeze your chest. Your grip is engaged the whole time. Your legs, your glutes, everything is pushed to the max when you are lifting up weight from the ground. And so learning how to do a proper deadlift and learning how to hold your form together, again, not letting the weight manipulate you forward, but you manipulating that weight up. So important. Another really good exercise is the bench press.
Barbell bench press.
Barbell bench press. And even a dumbbell bench press is really good.
That's good too.
Both of those are great. You have to engage your whole body. You have to brace your lower body. A lot of people think that the bench press and the dumbbell bench press are just isolation movements for the upper body, but especially with you, it's become really important to make sure that lower body is engaged and stable. As you go through the movement.
Yeah, absolutely. My chest is definitely hindered when my lower body is not engaged.
Especially with your scoliosis,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
if you don't keep that lower body stable, then the spine isn't going to be stable at all.
Right.
So a lot of you who are struggling with the bench press to hold your form are just focused on the upper body and maybe one shoulder is higher than the other. You have to realize your butt is still on that bench.
Yeah.
Your glutes are still on the bench.
Your feet are still on the ground.
Yeah.
Or they should be.
And that all of that will affect your hips.
Yes.
And so if your lower body is not engaged, you will not be completely 100% secure in that position.
Though we are focusing on the chest here, your whole body is still involved, just like the deadlift and just like the squat.
Which makes it a great exercise for building full body strength.
Absolutely.
And I would say another exercise that's another push would be the overhead press.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because if you're trying to build overall strength, There is no exercise like the overhead press, especially if you're not putting that bar up on a rack. You're having to pick it up off the ground because you're literally picking up a bar or a weight off of the ground, bringing it up to your chest, and lifting it up over your head.
Yeah.
With no assistance, no bench, no wall, no nothing that's holding. It is literally you picking up that weight and lifting it up over your head. And so it absolutely requires every single muscle in your body to be engaged and secure. Otherwise, your lower back will bend, your hips will start to get unaligned, your knees will cave in, your shoulders will get unbalanced. And even though I say all these things, you may think like, oh, isn't that a bad thing? Wouldn't that be a bad thing that all those parts of your body can maneuver and get out of place? No, it's actually a really good thing, because if you learn how to keep your body stable, think of all of those areas that you're activating and keeping strong through that movement.
It's absolutely true. And you can see this, I want to say, more with the overhead press than anything else, because especially when that weight is up and over your head, you can see every single part of your body. Hopefully, if you're looking in a mirror, you can see every single part of your body, and you will notice if one thing is out of place.
Oh, yeah. And it's important. It is important to make sure that you do these compound movements in front of a mirror. The bench press is an exception. It's a little hard to look in the mirror when your head is faced up.
Yeah.
But you want to make sure, again, that you're holding good form, that your shoulders are backing down, that your chest is out, that your core is engaged, that your lower body is engaged, that your whole body is stable. When you're doing that overhead press and you press it up overhead, your body is aligned. Nothing is off of a straight line of tension. You're keeping that bar as close to your body as possible. All of these things are factors in making sure that you are holding yourself together and that you are manipulating the weight and the weight is not manipulating you.
Yeah.
Now, there's a really, really good body weight exercise that also helps with overall strength. And they've even shown studies that show that this is one of the exercises that requires the most central nervous system strength out of a lot of other exercises, and it's a pull-up. And it's so funny too, because the pull-up is one of the most difficult exercises for people to do.
Oh yeah.
And to work up towards, because it's a lot of your body weight that you're having to pull up. It's the majority of your body weight that you're having to pull up.
Well, and I just think a lot of people are not familiar with working with gravity in that way.
No. And you're limited by how much you can hold, your grip strength.
Definitely.
If you're overweight, it's even more difficult to do so.
Yeah.
You have to be extremely connected with your upper body to be able to pull your whole body up. And even then, you've still got to have your lower body engaged, because if your legs are just frailing about everywhere, you're going to have instability, and it's going to be that much harder for you to use your upper body to pull yourself up.
Absolutely.
So with that one, we haven't put out a regression video yet, but you want to start off with regressions like the lat pull down, like banded pull-ups, like doing TRX rows, just so that you can get connected with your body and build strength in those movements.
Yeah, I think, and the lat pull down specifically will really help you to engage or even discover your lats if you have not, which is extremely needed and useful and helpful when doing a pull-up.
Yeah. And I think the last exercise that we would recommend someone to do is a push-up.
Yes.
And some of you can do 25 half-ass push-ups, and some of you can do 25 real push-ups, right?
Yeah.
But if you're one of the people who aren't doing a proper push-up, going all the way down to the ground, opening up the chest, getting a full range of motion, able to actually feel your chest and squeeze your chest up at the top, then you need to work on doing that. You need to work on building that full range of motion, coming all the way down, engaging your whole body, going slowly, connecting with the whole body. Those are far more valuable to building strength than just performing reps and going quickly.
You absolutely need to engage your whole body in the push-up, but your glutes are especially important when doing the push-up.
Yeah. You got to make sure that you're not bringing those hips back and tightening up the lower back. You have to engage. You got to keep your body completely flat. and disengaging from the glutes, letting the hips come back is only going to deactivate your core and cause way too much tension in that lower back.
I definitely want to encourage a lot of you to try that, because I feel like the push-up will change a whole lot for you once you adjust your hips. I feel like some people don't think that they can do a push-up until they adjust their hips, and then they realize they can do a push-up.
Well, when you deactivate your glutes, your hips drop down towards the ground. So you can't even do a full push-up when your glutes aren't engaged, when your glutes aren't activated. So learning, again, it's so important and valuable to learn proper form for all of these movements before you start to challenge that strength.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're just challenging your explosive central nervous system strength, which, that's not a bad thing, but you want to learn how to do these movements correctly. You want to learn how to hold your body together in good form, and then from there, how to hold your body together in good form with more and more resistance, performing a perfect rep in each and every movement with more and more resistance.
Yes.
So when we have clients who have the goal of building strength, the compound movements are the first thing that we go to. We want to make sure they know how to do a squat. We want to make sure they know how to do a deadlift, how to do some variation of a push-up, some variation of a pull-up. They have some variation of an overhead press, and that they learn how to do these movements in correct form.
Yes.
From there, we make sure that they focus on those lower rep ranges so that they're actually challenging that strength. And what you can do if you're new to going into the gym, start up in the higher rep ranges. We don't want you to max out on your first day going to the gym.
Yeah.
Start out on those higher rep ranges. Start out with a weight that you know you can lift for about 6 to 8 reps, and then grow in strength in that 6 rep range. Spend a couple of weeks in that 5 to 6 rep range, and then once you build strength in that and you've moved up in weight enough, then start moving over to 3 rep range.
Yes.
Then start moving into heavier weight that challenges your strength even more. Learn how to engage your body with weight that you can only lift for 3 reps. And then after a couple of weeks, then you can start dipping into doing 1 rep maxes. And even then, I would say, don't go right into the heaviest weight that you could possibly lift. Do a weight that you know you can lift for 2 or 3 reps, and just do it for 1.
Yeah.
Learn how to actually engage your body for 1 rep and practice it with a weight that you can do for 2 to 3 reps. And then from there, over time, build up the strength and the confidence to be able to securely, safely, in good form, do your 1 rep max.
And if you're unsure of which weight to start out with, just to start with from the beginning, go with the lightest weight first and then work your way up.
Yeah.
If you can successfully move through, say, that 6 rep range, and you don't really feel much of anything, if you can, breeze through those reps pretty easily, then go ahead and move up.
Yeah. Definitely be more conservative than aggressive in doing that.
Definitely more conservative.
You will always have more time to get stronger.
Yes.
You will always have more time to build that strength. You do not want to get caught with a weight that you can't handle and end up injuring yourself, and then having to rehabilitate areas of your body to build back strength to where you were.
And these are with all of the compound movements and even accessory movements. You want to ease yourself into the higher weight, the more weight. You definitely want to ease yourself into that. Trust me, 5 pounds, though it doesn't seem like a lot, it feels like a lot when you're doing it. So if you have to move up by 2.5 pounds before you move up to the full 5, then that's what you have to do.
Yeah. And this too, if you're just trying to get stronger and you're not caring about 1 rep maxes, you're not trying to be a power lifter, you're not trying, all this stuff, then you don't need to go to that 1 rep max.
Yeah.
It is beneficial to go to the 5 reps. It's even beneficial to go to the 3 reps. But the measurement of getting stronger just means being able to lift heavier weight and being able to manipulate more weight. Or getting stronger would mean being able to lift the same weight with more control.
Yes.
To be able to manipulate it better and control it better. And so if you don't care about going to the 1 rep range or even the 3 rep range, then at least build the strength to be able to handle the same rep or the same weight for the same amount of reps with way more control, way more connection to your body, and at least focus on that, because that will help you to build that overall strength and eventually make you not only get stronger, but also look stronger in the process.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, I hope this episode was helpful. I know a lot of you guys are trying to get stronger, and a lot of you girls are trying to get stronger. And if you need extra help with that, we would love to meet with you if you're in the Whittier area and provide you a free fitness evaluation where we can make sure that you are doing everything possible to help reach your goals.
And for those of you who are not in the Whittier area, we do have some online options as well. Please send us an email at biocorefitness@outlook.com.
If you did enjoy this episode, feel free to leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It helps other people to see this show. Check out our YouTube channel where you can find that squat regressions video and be sure to subscribe to that. And you can follow us on our Instagram at BioCoreFitness. As always, send us a message with what you want to hear, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.